Greetings one and all, this is Rhythmworks and welcome to my channel. Now, the inspiration for this video was simply one message. It was one message that was sent to me by my brethren in my PSN, and I think it was as a result of me uploading a YouTube video, and he sent a message to me basically saying, I wish I had your setup. And I thought he was talking about my PS4 Pro setup with SHAREfactory. So I was basically just talking about the fact that you can actually capture in 1080p and you can make GIFs as well. But then I took stock and I thought, but hold on a second, he has got that video set up. And that just basically inspired me to make this video. Now, this is not just going out to him, this is going out to everyone that has got SHAREfactory installed as an application in their PS4 or PS4 Pro. I don't give a shit which console, but as long as you've got SHAREfactory in your console and you haven't used it or you don't know how to use it, you are overlooking a great fucking piece of kit. Now, I will make some admissions to you. Some of my best videos came from actually just hooking up a SHAREfactory clip. And for me, it's very convenient to use SHAREfactory as opposed to using Sony Vegas Pro and all that, because you gotta get the clips out of your PS4 by putting it in an external drive, and then you gotta put it into your laptop, and then you gotta basically take those clips and put it in your Sony Vegas Pro or whatever other editing software you're gonna basically use, and then you gotta basically just do all the editing, all the frills and bells and whistles, and then after that you got to have it rendered in the laptop. Then you got to basically put it into YouTube, upload it to YouTube, and have it do that as well. And that's some arsing about if you haven't really got the time. But with SHAREfactory, it does it all from the console, and that is what I like about it. Another thing I like about SHAREfactory is the simple fact that it's always improving. It's always improving. Now you have the ability to capture in 1080p. Also, you can use SHAREfactory to make GIFs as well, you know. This is one suggestion that I'm gonna put to Sony, if possible. I was wondering if there was a way that you can put an equalizer, a graphic equalizer feature on the audio. Nothing too fancy, just a 3-band graphic equalizer, so that you can utilize the stock microphone headset earbud that came with the PS4. Because I have to say, I'm using it now and it feels, not feels, what am I talking about? It sounds a little better than the Astro A50s that I'm basically using. It sounds a bit granular with the A50s, but with this microphone, you know, it sounds clear, but it still sounds slightly muffled. That's why I'm thinking, okay, a nice 3-band equalizer on the audio, that'll be great, you know what I mean? But coming back to the point I'm making, SHAREfactory is always improving. So for those who are not using it or haven't been using it, or like I said, don't know how to use it, please get into it. Check out my tutorial series, my SHAREfactory tutorial series, and I will make this pledge. If there's anyone that wants to basically get into capturing footage and editing footage and uploading their footage to YouTube, and you know, having it done as professionally as you can do with the application, and you're stuck, please, you can PM me, link me, friend request me, you know, party chat, invite, what have you, and I will help coach you through it. It is really a underrated piece of kit. It really is. And now with the PS4 Pro, like I said, you can capture footage at 1080p. You can capture screenshots in 4K and 1080p as well, and you can make GIFs. Do you know what I mean? But for the PS4 users, I'm not sure if you can use GIFs. I'm not sure because obviously I don't have my vanilla PS4 plugged in, but maybe somebody can let me know. But either or either, whether you can do it or you can't do it, SHAREfactory as an application is a great fucking piece of kit, and I would recommend people to get into it and to use it, you know, as much as they can. For those who can't afford a laptop, for those who don't have editing software to hand, this is it. This is what you need, really and truly. This is what you need. This is what you need. You know, people can talk about resolution and what have you, but good content is good content, whether it is 4K, 1080p, 720, smartphone, camera pointed at somebody. Remember the Charlie bit my finger video? Where a boy and his little baby brother was sitting in the settee and the baby boy bit Charlie's finger. That was a smartphone. That made, at that point, £125,000. So I don't want nobody telling me about fucking resolution and shit. You know what I mean? You know, resolution is all well and good if that's what you're into. I'm not disrespecting nobody, but what I'm saying is that don't let all of that put you off making your content and putting your content up on YouTube if you have a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Some of my friends have got YouTube channels, but they don't put up videos as much as they would like, or even I would like. But you know, the potential is there to really make good content, and it's all on the basis of my friend telling me, I wish I had your setup, and he has that setup as well. Now it's been a few days since I've purchased the PS4 Pro and also the PSVR, and I just think now it's time for me to get away from the fucking audio files and video files that seems to be spouting a whole heap of fucking rubbish in terms of what the Xbox fucking Slim can do that the PS4 can't. You know what I'm saying? I just need to get away from all of that shit. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. Gaming bumper clout wins all the fucking time, and it's just getting really fucking tiresome. Do you know what I mean? You know, I'm just getting fed up of all the fucking videophilic masturbation that's going on with some of these fucking people. You know, at the end of the day, you can plainly see that the PS4 Pro has a markedly upgraded visual presentation once you basically play it. And even if you don't have a PS4 Pro, you can still appreciate the HDR settings and the fact that you can basically play a game in 1080p on your 1080p television. You're still basically getting the best of both worlds, if you like, whether you have a 4K TV or not. You know, I don't make it a point to mention every single time I'm basically playing a game that I've got a 4K TV. I just need to mention it one time and done. Do you know what I mean? You know, and that is all there is to it. But at the moment, yeah, I'm enjoying the vibes right about now. I just need to steer clear from all the fucking videophilic masturbation. That's what I call it. You know what I mean? Too much people talking about frame rates and all that bollocks. You know what I mean? You know, if you're gonna sacrifice something for the frame rate, which is gonna be like around 5 fucking frames less, do you know what I mean? What's the fucking big deal? And there's people that don't even know what anti-aliasing is, what checkerboard is. They don't know what the fuck that is. All they basically know is that when they plug that shit in, it looks much better than it does before, you know, and it has nothing to take away their skill in when they're playing a first-person shooter at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But I'm not disrespecting no proper video files out there, but you know, a majority of the customer base are not video files and they're not audio files. They just want to just sit down in front of their TV after a hard day's fucking graft and basically play. And the more smoother the game can play and the better the resolution, then that is fine. And if Sony's basically putting out the stops to do that, then they're gonna basically do that. You know, in technology, there's hardly pieces of equipment that has everything you need on that piece of equipment. There's always something that's basically lagging, or lacking rather, pardon the pun. But you know, there are headsets that are available, and some headsets has great sound, but the mic is somewhat jacked, and vice versa. There's never a headset that has everything you basically need. Do you know what I mean? And that's the nature of the game. That's the nature of the game. It just depends on what you are willing to sacrifice, what you put top in your list of priorities in terms of technology and what you want from the apparatus you use. Do you know what I mean? But moving away from that real quick, and just basically just confirming something that I learned the hard way. And this is going out for all those who own a PS4 Pro and also a PSVR. When I actually plugged in the PSVR into my PS4 Pro and checked the settings on my TV, I noticed that the HDR wasn't supported. And I'm thinking, I wonder if it's the cables that I've got mixed up. So I tried every single fucking permutation just to try and get the HDR to be made compatible with the TV, right? And I learned the hard way by actually watching a Beyond podcast, courtesy of IGN, when the guy basically said, well, there is a caveat when you use PSVR, it will not enable the HDR function on your TV. But there are pass-through boxes that are available in Amazon for like around 18 bucks, 15 bucks. And I thought, now you're fucking telling me. But that's cool. And I mean, you know, in honesty, I'm not really fussed at the end of the day, because like I said before, there's some things you got to sacrifice when you have technology. You know what I mean? When you have certain items of technology, if they could give you everything, there'd be no need to buy any other brand of the same type of apparatus you're using. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, so everybody's playing the game. It's not just coincidence that these things basically happen. It's like, I strongly believe that it's something that, you know, it's something that the technological giants have put together, saying, okay, we'll make this, but we won't have this. But when you make this, right, you can't have this either, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Because now they got I think they got the Elite, well, I don't think, I know because I featured it in one of my videos. They do have the PS4 Elite controllers coming out very soon, and that is shaped like an Xbox controller, but the only difference is that I think it's the joysticks, they're basically placed in the same position as a PS4 controller would be. I would imagine that if it was put in a different position, then they'll have problems from Microsoft. So, you know, it's little things like that which proves to me at the end of the day that it's not clear cut to have everything you want on a device or on a system.
What's the name of that gun?
Another thing I'm going to repeat once more is my game of the year. And my game of the year, you're actually watching it right now, is Battlefield 1. Anybody tells me fucking Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, I will personally come down and bitch slap some fucking sense into you. Anyone who mentions Titanfall, I'll give them a break. I'll cut them some slack. But I have to say, Battlefield 1 for me is definitely the game of the year. Why is it the game of the year for me? Number one is that they went in a totally different direction. They quintessentially put the Battlefield template in the game, because if DICE didn't, it wouldn't be Battlefield. Do you know what I mean? One thing I really rate about DICE is the fact that, you know, they've tried different things and tried different scenarios, but still kept the Battlefield template. For example, from Battlefield 4, they went into Battlefield Hardline, which was more or less like a Grand Theft Auto-esque cops and robbers, Netflix box set-esque kind of game. And now they basically went backwards, and in a positive way. You know, they went into World War I territory. And I was watching a documentary about the making of the game. I think it was Radio 1, BBC Radio 1 that made the documentary. I watched it on iPlayer the other day, and you know, they basically stated that it wasn't really intended to be made to commemorate World War One, but I have to say that I think they're bullshitting on that score. Do you know what I mean? There's too much of a coincidence. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to do, if that's what your plan was, I'm not going to hold that against you. Do you know what I mean? But don't try and tell me that, you know, you decided on making a World War One game in the centenary of that great war was just a coincidence. Do you know what I mean? That's utter bullshit. But that aside, playing the game, you know, getting a feel of the weapons and, you know, the research they had to do, the lengths they had to basically go into recording the gun sounds in different environments and what have you. It was really enlightening to watch, you know, and for me at the end of the day, you know, game developers, you know, don't really get a lot of credit because you actually don't see what actually goes into it until, you know, you get it in your box from day one, you know. But for me personally, Battlefield 1 is definitely the game of the year. I don't think Titanfall 2 can really cut it as game of the year simply because of the lack of sales, them being sandwiched in between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. As bad as that game is, you know what I mean, it still sold a shitload, you know, irrespective of people saying, I'm not playing it again, I'm not playing that piece of shit, and they still fucking played it for COD 4, which it does not make no sense to me, but it's their money, you know what I mean? But Battlefield 1, I don't see a game to beat it. Watch Dogs 2, forget it. It's not happening. That ain't happening. So I'll be very, very surprised if Battlefield 1 does not win Game of the Year 2016. So in summary, I will say this. SHAREfactory. If you have SHAREfactory, well, no doubt every PS4 owner will have SHAREfactory. But if you are not using SHAREfactory, you are basically underusing a great piece of kit. And I will make a pledge to you right now. If you want to make gameplay videos, you want to set up a YouTube channel, you want to do any of that shit, and you're just kind of overwhelmed with the market being saturated, don't worry about that. It's just putting your spin on gaming. You know what I mean? You know, nothing is original under the sun anymore when it comes to creativity, but at the same time, passion breeds passion. That's what I believe. Because there are people out there that has nothing better to do than to basically shit on PlayStation gamers. You know, I was having a conversation with another YouTuber friend of mine, Sakuraba, and he more or less put the nail on the head. He was basically saying, you know, despite the fact that he wasn't really feeling the PS4 Pro, it's sad that the people that are representing the Xbox brand are the fucktards that are basically misinforming people and having hundreds and thousands of disciples basically believing that shit. So I'm thinking, well, if that works for them, why can't positivity work in the same way? So that's what I'm basically trying to do. I'm reaching out to people and saying, look, you know, if you want to get into the whole YouTube thing, don't think about the money, don't think about the fame, don't think about all of that. The first thing is your love of gaming, because once you have that set in stone from a creative point of view, then people can see it and basically believe it, because there's too much people out there basically just bringing shit to the hobby of gaming. You know what I mean? They're basically hustling of stupid people. You know, it's basically generating quotas of stupid people for them to earn money, and that is sick. That's sickening to me at the end of the day, you know? So positivity, let it breed positivity at the end of the day. I love gaming, my brethren and sisters love gaming, and if you love gaming, link up, you know what I mean? If you want any help in relation to getting your YouTube channel off the ground, I pledge to help you, if that's what you want, okay? And the next thing, is the tech. Listen,
Sorry, that's me.
ladies and gentlemen,
That was me. That was
boys
me.
and
That was
girls,
me. Sorry, man.
if you got a PS4 and you haven't got a PS4 Pro, or you haven't got a a 4K TV, it doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't detract from your gameplay. If there weren't 4K TVs being made for another 4 or 5 years, if there wasn't a PS4 Pro to be made in another 4 or 5 years, it's not going to put you at a standstill in terms of your gaming. Okay, so at the end of the day, if you've got the cash, you know, if you've got the cash and you want one, buy one. If you want to basically save up, save up. You want to do some research, do some research. Make up your own mind. It's not set in stone that you must have a 4K TV right now, even if you had the money. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm just basically doing it because I've got the money and I'm an early adopter. I don't want to have the feeling of missing out on something. So, you know, but even if I didn't have the money, I would still buy what I would need to buy in due course and due time. So that's what I'm basically saying. Happy gaming is happy gaming, whether you have those items of technology or not. So kiss my ass for people that basically think, okay, by having a fucking 4K TV, you know, you're going to be in a better position than other people, or your skill is going to basically increase. It's not. It's just down to the individual user at the end of the day, you know. Pemby, I know you alluded to that, but I wasn't pointing that at you, mate. But I was just basically making a more general statement for more pompous people out there. But anyway, is with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu, whatever the game media platform, format, genre. Happy gaming, because that is what it's truly about, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And until I catch you on the next one, please stay blessed. My God.